Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and this week we have an exciting new update for the Dragonflight pre-patch, with the launch of Phase 2 of the pre-expansion event. This update brings with it the Primal Elemental Invasions, a new source of all friendly gear catch-up, and a new wing of the Ultimate Dungeon. This week we also get our hands on the Dragtheer Evoker, a powerful caster with incredible mobility but a limited range. This class uses the empowerment mechanic to augment powerful magic effects and bolsters your allies with buffs and combat enhancements, capable of mending wounds or scorching your foes, and soar into the skies with an exciting new racial. In this video, I wanted to go over the basics of playing Evoker in the Dragonflight pre-patch for both the healing preservation spec as well as damage dealing devastation, highlighting recommended builds, going over rotations, and sharing from my experience so far in the Dragonflight beta. But right before we get into this guide video, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future and upcoming Dragonflight pre-patch and beta builds. First, let's go over the Devastation spec, which mostly relies on the red Dragonflight magic to cinch foes with fiery explosions, and blue magic to strike the targets with greater precision. Evoker's primary damage resource is Essence. Essence generates at a steady rate similar to the Death Knight runes. Certain powerful abilities will spend your Essence, while others help generate Essence Burst. Essence Burst causes your Essence abilities to be used without consuming the resource. Most of Evoker gameplay revolves around using Essence abilities and generating Essence Burst effectively. This Essence mechanic affects priority of our abilities in combat, which we'll go over when discussing the base rotation. To help us get started, let's first cover the single target raid build to help us learn the basic rotation. Starting with the class tree, we'll prioritize all talents that help increase the damage of basic abilities and become more effective at our primary DPS role. Next, we focus on improving our survivability. A dead Evoker deals no damage, which is why we grab Obsidian Scale with an extra charge. Use this regularly to keep yourself alive and healthy in combat. The talent of Renew and Blaze can help us efficiently stabilize inside of high-stress situations. Next, we seek to improve our mobility by increasing the effectiveness of Hover ability. Hover lets Evokers rush in any direction and cover ground quickly, while enabling spell casting on the move, which helps us make up the difference against a shorter ability range. The talent of Verdant Embrace is a heal spell that lets you rush over to a nearby ally to restore him. While the heal is great, we'll primarily be using this to move us out of dangerous areas. Next, we have the spec tree, which is where we can focus on various playstyle options, with the base build focusing on single target output. First, we pick up the ability of Pyre, which will be our main source of AoE damage. We also grab Eternity Surge, an empowerment spell which we'll go over when talking about the rotation. Dragonrage will be our primary damage cooldown, which causes us to gain Essence Burst rapidly, fueling our damage resources. Dragonrage duration can also be extended, and the cooldown helps us enable our mastery, Giant Killer. Giant Killer causes Evoker abilities to become stronger when enemies are at maximum health. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. This allows Evokers to see their full damage up front, but it wanes as enemies grow weaker. Dragonrage helps us maintain full value much longer. We also pick up talents to enhance the output of Fire Breath, empower basic rotational abilities, enhance our critical strikes, and generate more damage procs. Finally, we pick up Shattering Star to shatter enemies' defenses, and Hoarded Power for better Essence Burst value. This talent build should help you get started with your Evoker, but as always, I encourage you to take a close look at all the talent options, and don't be afraid of experimenting with different builds and playstyles. Feel free to adjust this build in any way you want to, as this is just a generic blueprint to help you get started. Next, a quick explanation of the empowerment mechanic. As Devastation, we have two main empowerment spells. Fire Breath unleashes a roaring fire that changes depending on the empowerment level. Channeling this spell for a short time causes it to burn your target with a powerful periodic damage, though less upfront burst, while maximizing its empowerment helps it be more instantly explosive but leaving a smaller burn afterwards. This ability does not have a target cap, only a 5 target soft cap, which makes it useful in all encounters. The empowerment level is an important mechanic, however, as different empowerments will help in single target or AoE situations. The second empowerment spell is Eternity Surge. This ability does a decent amount of spell frost damage and strikes more targets the longer you channel. This one is pretty simple. The more targets you fight, the longer you channel this empowerment ability. Both of these empowerments can also benefit from Tip the Scales, which is a bronze Dragonflight ability that lets your next empowerment spell go off instantly and at full volume. We usually want to save Tip the Scales and use it inside of our Dragonrage windows in order to help extend the Dragonrage uptime. Now that we got our build, let's talk about the rotation, starting with the opener. Before any fight, cast Living Flame followed by a combat potion and any unused trinkets. Then use the ability of Dragonrage, followed by a rank 1 Fire Breath, Shattering Star, Eternity Surge, followed by 2 Disintegrates. Inside the Dragonrage window, continue to maintain your empowerment spells on cooldown, together with Shattering Star. You'll mostly use Azure Strike instant cast to help generate Essence Burst, and all Essence will be spent on Disintegrate in single target boss encounters. Outside of Dragonrage, we'll still maintain Essence spells on cooldown. Try to save up some resources before using the Shattering Star. When fighting multiple targets, use Azure Strikes, otherwise use Living Flame as a filler and Disintegrate as a main spender for single target encounters. Next, let's go over the build and playstyle you will use in Mythic Dungeons and AoE encounters. In the class sounds, we'll make a few adjustments, mostly by picking up useful utility that helps disrupt large dungeon packs and lock them down with the Deep Breath ability. Deep Breath causes the Evoker to rain Hellfire upon your foes while covering a large bit of ground. The spell is more useful in AoE than it is in single target, but can still be used in raids in order to help you move around unabated. In the spec tree, we'll prioritize empowering your Pyre ability in order to maximize our AoE value, together with added cleave for a few more of blue spells. Generally, the Evoker rotation changes only slightly in AoE content. You'll mostly focus on using Pyre when fighting 3 or more targets closely stacked together, otherwise feel free to use Disintegrate. Fire Breath should be used at Empowerment 4 in order to gain the bonus cleave value of Living Flame. Eternity Surge empowerment will change depending on the number of targets you're currently fighting. You should try to build up damage of Pyre before using Dragonrage, which unleashes 3 Pyres at once, with all of them gaining subsequent bonuses. Besides these conditionals, you'll spend a lot of time Azure Striking and using Pyre to spend your resources, while keeping empowerment spells and Shattering Star on cooldown. When it comes to gearing your Evoker during pre-patch, try to prioritize gear with Mastery, Haste, Crit, and Versatility in that order. If you're looking to gear through Shadowlands raids and dungeons during pre-patch, you may need a few legendaries. Be sure to pick up the Legendary of Unity together with Echo of Eonar as the most recommended option. When it comes to using Covenants in Shadowlands content, it's highly recommended to use the Night Fae Covenant. The mobility of Night Fae is often helpful. Naya grants a powerful Mastery buff, which empowers your damage, and Corian helps maximize Critical Strike in AoE content. Next, we have the Preservation Evoker, which calls upon the green Dragonflight to aid their allies, and the bronze Dragonflight to help reverse allies' wounds. Just like Devastation, Preservation also uses Essence resource to empower certain spells. Preservation also uses the Echo mechanic to duplicate healing effects, which makes them incredibly bursty, though some of the setups can be quite complex. First, let's take a look at the regular raid focus build, starting with the class tree. The class side will look very similar to the spec of Devastation, but will heavily focus on picking up traits that help increase overall healing value. In the spec tree, we pick up Echo, which allows you to duplicate healing effects at a reduced value. We also pick up a number of green Dragonflight spells, like Dream Breath for group-wide healing, Spirit Bloom for quick recovery, Emerald Communion to rapidly recover health and mana, with any overhealing spilling onto nearby allies. The Talent of Lifebind for better group-wide healing, especially powerful when using the Echo mechanic. The Dream Flight, which lets you soar over the battlefield while rejuvenating all nearby allies. For bronze spells, we pick up Reversion, which helps heal allies periodically while benefiting highly from critical strikes. Rewind helps reverse a portion of all damage taken by allies, incredibly powerful in high-stress situations. And Time Dilation, to help your tanks mitigate damage taken. Inside of raid encounters, try to spend your essence on Emerald Blooms when multiple targets are stacked together and are about to take damage. Use Dream Breath, Spirit Bloom, and Fire Breath as often as possible, and try to maximize their empowerment whenever you can stand still. Maintain the reversion on the primary target taking damage. Don't be afraid in helping your tanks with Time Dilation, since the ability has a very short cooldown. Use Verdant Embrace to help heal critically wounded allies. And plan to use Dragonflight and Rewind during moments of high damage for entire raid or party. Otherwise, cast Living Flame to heal allies or damage bosses to fish for Essence Burst procs. The Evoker healing dungeon build isn't going to be too different, focusing on better group utility and disruption bonuses. We also pick up Erasure to get a second charge of Rewind for better group recovery. And we grab Stasis, which lets us copy healing spells and unleash them at once for increased healing output. In Mythic Dungeons, you will regularly set up a few echoes followed by a powerful burst healing effect that duplicates to nearby allies. Besides that, your basic rotation doesn't really change, as you effectively follow the raid healing rotation in dungeons. The ability of Stasis can be quite powerful. It lets you store the next 3 beneficial spells and duplicates them upon release. You can either use Stasis to bring the team back up to a healthy state by storing 3 Emerald Blossoms in a row and then unleashing the spell when the entire team starts taking damage. Or store up a Verdant Embrace, followed by a Dream Breath and Spirit Bloom in order to help a single ally recover rapidly. The second Mythic Dungeon build focuses on damage output over maximizing our healing. In this spec tree, we'll pick up the Life Giver's Flame, which causes Fire Breath to heal a nearby ally based on the damage that it deals. Life Force Mender causes Living Flame and Fire Breath to deal additional damage equal to 2% of your maximum health. And the talent of Energy Loop makes Disintegrate a much more appealing damage option, which generates more output and helps restore mana. Overall, your rotation doesn't change with this specific build, besides spending more time using Disintegrate in order to bolster damage output. When it comes to gearing your Preservation Evoker, you want to focus on gear with heavy Mastery, followed by Crit, Haste, and Versatility, though the last 3 stats are very close to each other in value. In Mythic Plus, you want Mastery last, as the other 3 help you heal and damage simultaneously. And if you plan on playing Healer Evoker in Shadowlands content, the most recommended legendaries are Unity and Echo of Aeonar for better healing, or Judgment of the Arbiter for better damage output. And if you plan on diving into Shadowlands dungeons and raid content, the most recommended Covenant will be the Night Fae, just like Devastation. The mobility of Soul Shape is incredibly useful. The Dreamweaver Soulbind offers a healthy mix of healing and damage passives, which is helpful in a variety of PvE content. And for now, that's going to be everything we have to help you get started with your Evoker with the Dragonflight pre-patch. I want to thank you all so much for watching the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are any of you potentially looking to check out the Evoker as a possible main or alt heading into Dragonflight? And which playstyle are you more interested in? The destructive damage dealer of Devastation or the mending healer spec of Preservation? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.